Today's video is kindly sponsored by Squarespace.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back for another YouTube video. I hope you're all doing well, having a fabulous week wherever you are and whatever you are up to. Today's video is a little bit different. I have not sat down and filmed a luxury style video in a really long time. I am handbag obsessed. I'd say I lean more towards the handbag side. I feel like I haven't yet kind of caught the bug for a lot of other luxury products. It's mostly handbags. I've fallen a little bit into the shoe category. If that is not your cup of tea, that's totally okay. You do not have to watch today's video. I have wanted to film a video like this for such a long time because I think when I was looking to make expensive purchases, the first thing I did was go on YouTube, looked up the handbag, wanted to see reviews. I wanted to see what, you know, normal girls thought of these products, if they were worth the money. So hopefully this video might help you if you're considering purchasing something that I kind of mention, or if you're looking to make maybe your first designer purchase. I do not claim to know everything about luxury products, luxury brands whatsoever. I just have a bit of a guilty pleasure for them. Kind of want to help you guys in the best way that I can with the knowledge that I do have. So if you are new here, please don't forget to go down there, hit subscribe, turn the bell on. Also, I would love it so much if you could check me out on my Instagram. I'm going to start with a good purchase. Let's start on a good note. And that is, you could have probably already guessed this, my Balenciaga Triple S's. I have 2 pairs of these trainers and I still flipping love them. Also, you guys might notice I buy my items to wear them. I just think if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I just personally want to wear them. I don't want them to sit on the shelf and collect dust. So I try and look after everything as best I can, but I definitely get my wear out of my items. Here I have 2 different colorways of the Balenciaga Triple S's. I know they've come out with other styles of trainers. I'll put them on the screen right now. I'm not a massive fan of the other style. This is just my favorite style of trainer. I've always loved a super chunky trainer. I'm already quite tall. I'm about just over 5'7", so they definitely add a little bit of height, but I just love the way a chunky trainer looks. So I have this colorway, which is the clear kind of jelly with the cream. I love this colorway, probably more so than the grey and blue, just because I feel like I get so much wear out of this colorway. Honestly, I'm shocked at how much I wear these trainers. I love them. When I first got them, I was a little bit scared to kind of like properly wear them in and wear them, but now I almost want another color. I know they're not necessarily the most trendy shoe anymore. They definitely sort of came around and were super trendy. I know some people are like, they're kind of old news. I still love them and I just like to wear what I love. So yeah, I had definitely got my wear out of them. I would definitely recommend them if you're looking at Balenciaga trainers. The only thing I will say about making a shoe purchase is you can see the wear in a pair of shoes 10 times more than you can in a bag, for instance. I feel like with bags, you can be, you know, quite good at keeping them around for a really long time, keeping them in great condition. Shoes are gonna show wear and tear a heck of a lot more. So I love these. They have to go in one of my best purchases, just cost per wear and how I style them, I live in them. I love the Triple S's. Sorry, a little bit basic, but I do. So I'm gonna go on to one of my, I don't want to say one of my worst purchases because I don't believe this bag will be one of my worst purchases, but it probably was the worst purchase of 2020, just with all things considered. This is the Gucci Dionysus bag in cream. I love this bag. I think this bag is beautiful. It is nothing to do with the bag. This is what it looks like. It has this kind of sparkly detail here, and then it has like just a popper like so, and this is the interior. It actually is really deceiving and is quite big on the inside, which I really like. Love the chain so much. The one thing I want to talk about, I have not noticed it too much just because I have not worn this bag that much, and that's why it's in kind of like my less great purchases pile, is the colour transfer on the back of the bag. Now I can slightly see a colour transfer, but nothing too much. When sort of reading about this bag and watching videos on this bag, so many people mentioned that unfortunately it does tend to colour transfer. So if you're wearing a dark pair of jeans, you have this bag crossbody, unfortunately the ink tends to go on the back of the bag, and I just absolutely hate the idea of that ever happening. I love the style of this. I think it's super elegant. Now this bag was purchased in mind to wear for the summer really. I think it's a very summery handbag and also for evenings and events. And as you guys might know, not a lot of those happened in 2020. So I just feel like I didn't get my wear out of this handbag, and it seems to have just sat there a little bit this year and collected dust a little bit. Even though I hate to say that because I love the handbag and I have faith that I'm gonna wear the heck out of this in the future, but sadly this year it wasn't the best purchase I've made.
So I thought I'd take this time to tell you guys a little bit more about Squarespace. They are an online platform whereby you can create your own website. As you guys can see here, I was sort of doing it in the style of a blog. I think Squarespace would be an amazing platform to utilize this for. You can play around with a lot of their portfolio designs, colors, fonts, all of that good stuff, and really make it your own. They also have some amazing tools if you're looking to run your own business or start your own online business. As you guys can see, the website is super easy to use. I'm not the most technologically advanced, we could say, but it is really, really easy. They give you some amazing templates. As I mentioned, you can sort of play around with the features to really make the space your own. So head over to Squarespace today and get designing your own website. Please don't forget to use the code GEORGIAMAY. That's going to get you guys 10% off your first purchase of a website domain. Get creating, and I cannot wait to hear all about what you guys design.
So that brings me back to one of my best designer purchases, and that has to be my YSL college bag. A lot of you guys have asked me over on Instagram, what would I recommend for a first time buyer looking to buy a designer handbag? And I would immediately say this handbag. A lot of factors come into it when you're considering buying your first bag. I would say look at your collection, look at what kind of bags you wear often, what colour you wear a lot. All of those things are so important if you want to go down the vintage route, or if you want to go down like, you know, what's currently available. Just all of those questions are things to consider. But overall, this has to be one of the best purchases I've ever made. So as you guys can see, I got this in the black style. They also do this handbag in a larger size, I believe. I think they do it in a smaller size, but I'm not 100%, don't hold me to that. They also do a super similar handbag now, which is called the YSL Lulu bag. I will pop a picture on the screen and talk to you a bit more about that at the end of this video, because that is on my wish list. But I just think this has been an amazing purchase. It honestly looks in brand new condition. I'm going to leave a link below the unboxing video that I actually did on this bag when I purchased it. The leather is almost like coated, so it doesn't show any wear or tear, any marks. It honestly looks like it's in pristine condition. You can detach the crossbody, so you could just have it as a little top handle bag. Has a little secret compartment at the back, and is super spacious on the inside. One of my best handbag purchases, and I feel like at the moment bags are getting really expensive. You have designers like Chanel and Dior that are just kind of really, really out of my sort of reach at the moment. I feel like YSL is a really underrated but brilliant designer that have gorgeous handbags that to me always look classic, and they're quite minimalist. They're not too fancy, there's not too much going on. I like to think that I'll look back at photos of me with this handbag in like 10 years and I'll still love the bag and won't be like, oh, what was that trend? So for me, this isn't really a trend bag. This is just a classic black bag, goes with so much of my wardrobe. One of my best purchases. This was one of my early on designer purchases. I hadn't really made that many designer purchases when I purchased this bag, and I'll tell you a little bit about the experience because some of you guys have also asked me about that over on Instagram. I bought this bag in the Harrods store in London. The girl that served me was so lovely, and I think that's really important when you're spending a lot of money. You want to have a good customer experience. So that for me just made the whole thing so much better. I bought this bag with a really good friend of mine. We went and had some like coffees in the Fendi cafe that at the time was in Harrods, and it's just really good memories for me buying this handbag. So I think that makes a huge difference as well. I for one know that if I go to buy something and the sales assistant is not going to be nice to me, they're going to be disrespectful, they're going to be demeaning, it really puts me off the idea of buying the item. I think going forward I actually wouldn't buy an item from a sales assistant that was rude. I would just go back another day and have a good experience, because when you're spending that kind of money you don't want to be like scared or feel uncomfortable, and I don't feel like you should feel that way at all. And some of you guys might remember I had an experience like that actually when I purchased these trainers. So I purchased these in store from a store called Flannels, which sells multiple designer brands in there, and the girl that served me was so rude and horrible. Like, oh my gosh, I had never had that kind of experience that everyone sort of refers to when buying designer items. I think I'd been very lucky. And out of spite, I went back in there and bought the shoes just to kind of be like a, did you not think I was, because she really acted like she didn't think I was going to buy them. So I almost bought them out of like frustration, and they were the ones that were on display, and there was a lot of reasons why I didn't want to buy them from there. In hindsight, as much as in the moment I was like, yeah, I'm buying these shoes and all the sass came out, I actually wish I hadn't. I wish that I just purchased them and bought them from a really good store with really good sales assistants. So definitely don't feel pressured if you feel like you're having a bad time. cut that down, like stop that and go back another day, because I've had some amazing experiences which have just given me really good memories for when I've bought handbags. So I have 2 pairs of shoes to show you in the worst purchased pile, which makes me super upset. I have some Gucci sliders that I actually bought at the airport a couple of years ago now. And oh my god, do I have a story to tell you about these. So these are the Gucci kind of marmont slides. Now mine are worn and torn, guys. I have worn these out. I love these shoes still. I think they look amazing. So as you guys can see, they have this kind of white leather with the brass gold double G's. I really like the, oh my gosh, what is this called? I've completely forgotten what this fabric is called, like this material. I do really like this bit here because I think it gives a really nice kind of beachy vibe to the shoes. But oh my gosh, do I have a story to tell you about these. So firstly, when I actually bought them, I put them in my suitcase and my purple shampoo that I used to tone my hair with leaked in my suitcase and leaked all over these shoes. So rule number 1, don't put them in your hold luggage. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was in a rush when I packed, hence that stupid mistake. And if you get really close to them, you can see the staining which has occurred on these. The second thing I'm gonna say is do not buy these shoes if you have wide feet. Not even if you have wide feet, if you have like slightly wide feet. I don't consider myself to have, like, I'd never buy shoes from the wide foot section, but these cut my feet up. I did not expect that because the leather here is actually quite soft, but across here where this went on my foot, every single time for about the first 15 times, more than that, 15, 20 times of wearing these shoes, they gave me blisters. They cut my feet up. I could barely walk in them. Blisters were so sore all over the top of my feet, hence these being one of the worst things I've ever purchased. Now, 2 years later, I can wear them without blisters, but is that really worth it? 2 years worth of wearing shoes to then end up wearing them and them not giving you blisters? I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it in the long run. I love how they look and I think they're really lovely shoes, but it kind of taught me a bit of a lesson. I'm quite hesitant and reluctant now to buy beach shoes that are from a designer brand. I just feel like they get so worn, like in the sand, by the pool. Like, it's really hard to keep good care of them. And if they're gonna cut your feet up, they are not for me. So I'm gonna actually talk to you a little bit about jewelry, and I'm just gonna stick with one brand for this video, but I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about my Cartier purchases. So I have made 2 Cartier purchases myself. I have purchased the ring, which you guys might have seen in my what I got for Christmas video. This is the thicker ring. And then I also love ring, and I also purchased the thin love bangle, both in gold. I adore both these pieces. And I hate to say this because I would buy them again. I don't regret buying them. But if you figure out the weight in gold for this item, for example, for the ring, it would never be the price that it is. The reason it's this price is because of the name, it's because of Cartier. So if you want something similar in gold, maybe I would recommend going to a jeweler and kind of doing something like that versus this particular item, just because you're paying for the name. So that's just something to bear in mind. I personally am that fool that would happily do it, and I'll do it again. So I definitely don't regret the purchase, but it's just something that I definitely want to make you guys aware of. You're paying for the name, you're not necessarily paying for the kind of gold and the jewelry itself. I love both of these items. However, if you are going to be making a purchase from a brand like Cartier, I would probably recommend going for something like a watch. Now, I feel like I can't really talk about this item too much and include it too much because I didn't purchase this item. This was actually a gift. So this is my Cartier watch. It was a 21st birthday gift, as you guys can see it there. It's really, really lovely, and I absolutely love this. And I do think if you're going to make a purchase from one of these kind of really well-known jewelers and brands, maybe a watch is the way to go. I feel like they retain their value a lot more. They kind of can become collection pieces if the style is discontinued. And yeah, I just feel like this is probably where you're getting more of your money's worth in the watch side of things. So that's just something I wanted to touch on, and I kind of feel that makes Cartier sit for me in both sides of this conversation. A good and maybe a not so good idea. I've had so many questions about what I sort of think about purchasing these items and if I had a good experience. I had a brilliant experience both times I made Cartier purchases. The sales assistants were nothing but lovely. They weren't pushy. They let me try on loads of other pieces. I tried on loads of other bangles and rings because I thought, why the heck not? You only live once. And I had a great time, but definitely something to bear in mind. I feel like it depends what you're looking for and what matters more to you when you're making that purchase. So just something I wanted to kind of reference quickly. Next up in my not so good purchases, I have this bag. And I hate to kind of reference this bag because again, this is one of my older purchases, one of my first designer purchases. This is a Gucci bag that I actually got in Bicester Village. It literally looks in immaculate condition because I honestly think I've used this handbag 3 times in my life. Now, I love the canvas. I love the old school Gucci style print. You guys will know that I've been obsessing over a little Gucci shoulder bag that actually was my mum's. And she's kindly kind of handed down to me and I've been living in that bag. I definitely think vintage is a great place to start if you are wanting to look for something designer and you want to kind of have something at maybe a slightly better price. So I definitely love the canvas design. What I don't love so much, I think, is the kind of pink leather detail. I can see me falling back in love with this bag at some point, hence me not selling it. The only thing I will say is this item was actually purchased at Bicester Village. I have really mixed feelings about buying designer items from places such as Bicester Village. I think you can find some amazing hidden gems, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But I also think you can buy things that you later look back on and think, what was I thinking? I was in the moment. I thought I was getting a good deal. And in hindsight, I have not worn that item at all. And that's exactly what happened with this particular piece. I did also buy the matching purse, which I used so much. I still use it now. For me, that was definitely a good item, but the bag itself I just have not worn. And the one thing I don't love that Gucci does is they manufacture certain bags for the outlet. And if you love something, then you love it, and that's all that should matter. But I just don't really like the idea that they make bags specifically for the outlet, because I know that this bag would never be sold in an actual Gucci store. So yeah, probably not one of my greatest purchases. I hope that at some point I kind of fall back in love with it. It's a fabulous size, and if you're looking for something like this, I actually think I'd opt for the Gucci Disco Soho bag, which I own and I love and I think is a really good option. Keeping on with the Bicester kind of theme. By the way, if you're not from the UK, Bicester Village is just an outlet centre that we have here. I did make a purchase this year from there, and I think this is one of my best Bicester purchases ever. This was from the Prada outlet. I am shocked at how many of you guys have asked me about this handbag. I even had one of you guys' boyfriends DM me on Instagram and say, I want to buy my girlfriend this handbag. Where the heck did you get it? Which I thought was just the sweetest thing ever. Shout out to you, but unfortunately I actually got this from Bicester Village, so I don't know where you can get this. This was one of the best purchases I have made at Bicester. Now, it definitely wasn't the cheapest. It was still a little bit expensive, but I love this. I'm obsessed with the gold hardware detail. I got this from the Prada outlet because what I love about it is it has that kind of like ruched leather design, which is on a lot of the Miu Miu and Prada bags, and I just love the look of that. You can obviously wear this handbag, double it up and kind of wear it on the shoulder, but you can also do that and wear it as a crossbody bag, which is how I've been wearing it a lot lately. As much as I also still love my YSL college bag, these are two of my just recommendations if you're looking to purchase a designer piece. What I love about this is it does have the gold hardware, and that was what really drew me to it. It looks like this on the inside. Just as Prada, I have contact lenses and a makeup powder in there. A secret zip as well on the side, which is super useful. I love this. The leather and quality of this handbag is beautiful. A few of you guys have asked me my thoughts on the Prada nylon re-edition bag. I have a really mixed view on that. I love the design of it. For me, I'm just not sure about passing with that much money personally for a nylon bag. I think they're super cute. I don't want anyone to get offended, but I also just want to tell you guys my thoughts. However, I adore the Prada, that style bag that they've done in the Saffiano leather. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. My sister has that bag and I'm obsessed with it. They do it in like a cream colour. It is gorgeous. Prada seem to be really bringing that handbag out in like so many different styles, fabrics. They are just like, they know it's a really trendy bag at the moment. So I do really like that. If you're interested in it, if you've got any more questions about anything that you feel like I haven't answered about any of these brands, just ask me below. Quickly following on with good Bicester purchases. This is a purchase that I kind of get asked about a lot and is definitely a really good and very lucky Bicester find. So this is a little Burberry bear. I absolutely love him. I think he is so, so gorgeous. He has his little Burberry trench on, which I think is super cute. Not only is he so useful for when I need to find my car keys, I just always know where they are because he's so obnoxiously big. I actually purchased one of these little bears for my mum for Christmas and my sister for her birthday from the Burberry website. They are a lot more expensive direct from the Burberry website. So this was a really good purchase. I know it's a little bit gimmicky and silly, but I love him. I think he's really cute. And the fact that the price of these on Burberry is just crazy. I feel really lucky I managed to get one at Bicester. So that was a good little find as well. Okay, so I have 2 more items to show you in my not so good purchases and 1 more item to show you in my good purchases pile. I do have a couple of other bits that I could have included, but I'm trying to keep it as minimal as possible. So next up I have this Louis Vuitton handbag that I just love, but I sadly have to put in the probably not so good pile, which really upsets me. I bought this handbag in December 2019 when I was going to New York. The lady that works at the Louis Vuitton in Terminal 5 Heathrow, called Daniela, is the nicest lady ever. She helps me all the time. When I actually bought this bag, she gave me a glass of champagne. She was not pushy. She answered all my questions. And that's what I mean about having a really good experience in store. I now always remember buying this bag and associate it with really good memories. So shout out to her because she's fabulous. I did actually mention her in the unboxing of this bag, which again, I'll leave link below. But as most of you guys will be able to see if you go and watch the unboxing video, this bag is in pristine condition. The leather hasn't even aged at all. It's stayed pretty much exactly the same. And what I mean by that is, take for instance this Louis Vuitton bum bag. You guys can see the leather has sort of aged. I also have a couple of vintage Louis pieces and it goes even darker over time. I love this bag. I love the interior. It's this really lovely red kind of suede. I love the shape. I think it's classic, it's classy. I love the top handle design. It's almost like a new take on the Speedy. It's a great size. I just have not worn this bag this year. It's actually used as like a prop in my room. It sits on top of the little Louis box and looks super cute in my room and really nice on my chest of drawers, but I have not used this. So hence I feel like I have to put it in this pile, which of being a not that great of a purchase, which really upsets me because I absolutely adore it. Really hope going into this year I will be better at using this handbag. I feel like it's really classic and a really nice kind of classy bag that I wish I was using more often. I'm like angry at myself. If I'm being perfectly honest, I just haven't got my wear out of this Louis bag, which really upsets me. Louis Vuitton is one of my favourite designers. I just love all their styles. I love the monogram. I love all the luggage that they do, the holdalls. Oh my gosh, I just love them. Keeping on the Louis theme, I wanted to share with you guys one of my best purchases, but the most shocking, and that has to be the Louis Vuitton bum bag. I never would have thought that I would be putting a bum bag in one of my most used handbags. I use this bag all the time, like when I go on a walk, when I go on a dog walk. It literally just sits in the perfect place. You don't have to use your hands. They're completely like free to do whatever the heck you want, but the bag is so easy to access because it's right up against like you, so you can see right in there really easily. I am shocked at how much I've used this bag. Again, it's definitely more of a trend bag. I don't know if it's something that I would 100% recommend for your first designer purchase. Definitely lends itself to being more of a trend sort of bag just in the design, and it is a bum bag and all of those sorts of things. I wear this bag crossbody, as you guys just saw. Another way I love to wear it is just on the shoulder. And then I've actually worn this handbag as a bum bag around my waist with some denim shorts and some sunnies, like a proper kind of mum from the 80s, and I love it. So yeah, I know this is not going to be everyone's kind of first choice when it comes to best purchases, but for me, the amount of wear I've got out of this, I cannot recommend it enough. I also love this hidden pocket that it has at the back. Shocked with this one, to be honest, and I might look back on it in 2 years' time and think, what the heck were you wearing, girl? But for now, I wear her all the time. And lastly, that brings me to my final item that I want to talk about, and that is a pair of shoes again that's in the kind of like probably wouldn't purchase if I knew what I knew, and that is these Dior trainers. I cannot believe I'm not putting them on the other side of the fence. I'm saying I probably wouldn't buy them if I knew what I knew. I'm shocked. These are obviously, as you guys can see, some Dior trainers, and aesthetically, I love these trainers. I think they look so nice. I love the Dior monogram they have going on. They're kind of like a classic Converse style, which I really like. They look great with like faux leather trousers, which is what I wear a lot of, skinny black jeans. They are a really useful shoe. I've definitely reached for them a lot. Number one, they give me a blister on the back of my foot, which is really annoying. Where this kind of leather is on the back of my foot, they've actually rubbed and given me a blister. And the other thing I would mention is this fabric is like a net fabric. It's not leather, it's not thick. It's kind of like a plasticky type feeling, which again, I think they look great, but my feet in these are so cold, like freezing cold at the moment. I'm hoping when it gets to spring that I will be reaching for them so much more. But at the minute, I just haven't been. I also feel like, unfortunately, they're really picking up a lot of marks, a lot of dirt. And I've been really careful about where I wear these trainers just because of the white on them. So sadly, I'm gonna say they weren't the best purchase of mine. They're just a lot of money for what they are. I think these retail for either the same or even more money than the Balenciaga Triple S's, but I feel like with the Triple S's, I can really see where the money kind of is. I feel like the quality of them is really good. I love how the shoe is designed. They do feel like a really good quality shoe. These Dior shoes, sadly, just feel like a pair of Converses. And I think for the money, that's why I'm putting them on this side. That is it for all of my best and worst purchases. I hope that you found it insightful in some way. A couple of things that I have on my wish list going forward. Firstly, I'm really interested in checking out the YSL Lulu in the like extra large size, either in the puffer design or in just the classic kind of Lulu. So I really want a handbag that I can actually fit my iPad in. I just feel like for work and things like that, going into London, if I need to pop into London, being able to have a designer handbag that could fit my iPad would be so useful, and a notebook. And I really quite like the look of the Lulu puffer. I feel like it resembles a little bit the Chanel bag that is super popular. So that's something I'm really interested in. Again, I really like YSL as a brand. Another item I definitely have in mind has to be a Chanel black classic flap. That was what I was actually going to purchase for my 25th birthday. I'm now a little bit reluctant just because of the price increase that seems to happen with Chanel, and it's just going up and up and up and up. And I also really want to purchase that handbag in Paris. So I'm going to wait and see until the end of the year. I'm leaning slightly now towards buying a vintage Chanel just because the price of the one, the classic flap, is getting really ridiculous. And I've heard really mixed things about the quality. My mum has a classic Chanel bag and she really loves it, but she bought it a little while ago and I feel like the quality is really great. I've seen a few unboxings recently and I just don't know. I'm really uncertain about the quality of the bag for the price. So I definitely have my eyes on it, but no big plans right now to buy that bag. Another thing I'm super interested in would have to be a Louis Vuitton holdall bag or some piece of kind of luggage, something where I can store a load of things for overnight stays, weekend stays, trips. I love all the ones that you can personalize. I think they look amazing. So yeah, definitely an LV holdall would be top of my list as well. Now just gonna go on Instagram and see if you guys have any questions for me. Someone has said, best and worst in-store experience when purchasing a luxury item. Like I mentioned earlier, my worst in-store experience has to be the experience I had in flannels. Would not probably go back there to buy something. And then one of my best experiences would have to be the experience I had in Louis Vuitton. I know her now really well, the girl that works in there, and I feel like we have a bit of a relationship. She always treats me really nicely, tells me if there's any new things that have come out. So definitely LV is probably my best experience. Someone said, what bags would you recommend we steer away from for our first designer purchase? Now this is super personal, and whatever bag you feel like suits your style and your lifestyle, go for it. Like, who am I to tell you otherwise? I think just from what I've learned over time, I would have always said steer away from trend bags. However, I've ended up putting the LV bum bag in one of my most used, as one of my most used items. So I actually wouldn't say that straight away. I think my main recommendation is what people tend to do, I've seen, is they want to buy something that's different from everything they already own. They're like, oh, I bought this because I didn't want it to be similar to the Topshop bag that I had or the ASOS bag that I wear a lot. I kind of think the other way around. I think if you have a handbag that you wear religiously all the time, why not buy that in the you know, more expensive version, because at least you know you're gonna get your wear out of it. My fear is buying something that's so out of my comfort zone that it just kind of sits there and collects dust, and that's just what I definitely don't want to do when I buy expensive pieces. So that would probably be my #1 recommendation. Another really good thing to look out for is something like how the leather or the bag fabric is gonna wear over time. Something like this, which is a coated leather, has just worn so well, it literally looks brand new. But then if you take, for instance, Louis, they are going to age, you are going to see that. I really like the look of that, but some people don't. Same with the Gucci bag that I showed, the white Gucci bag. There could be colour transfer with lighter handbags. So just take those kinds of things, I think, into consideration when buying a bag. Okay guys, so I actually think that's everything for today's video. Hopefully I have answered your question. If you feel like I haven't, feel free to just drop me a comment below. I will be down there replying to all of you guys' comments the best that I can. But these are all just my personal opinions, and at the end of the day, it's your hard-earned money. So if you see something that you really like, buy it. Don't feel like because I've put it in my, like, you know, worst purchased section of the video that you couldn't go out and buy it. Do whatever the heck you want, do what makes you happy. I definitely want to be bringing a little bit more of this style of video to my channel. Obviously you guys know I love buying so many things off the high street, but when it comes to handbags and the odd kind of accessory, I definitely like to treat myself. So I think going forward I want to talk about these items a little bit more in 2021. Hopefully do some more bag unboxings with you guys. And yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of today's video. Please don't forget to check me out on Instagram, hit subscribe. Please thumbs the video up if you enjoy it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys!